they might think, well, it was easy piece of cake. You had favors. Actually, I've seen that when you lost your election for Arkansas. You said, if I hadn't been defeated, I probably never would have become president. How to use a moment of failure to be a better person and to achieve something bigger?
Well, first of all, you don't give up. I mean, you figure, I've lost 2 elections. And I lost the race for Congress in 1974 when many members of my party were winning because President Nixon had gone unpopular. If I had won that race and gone to Congress, I do not think I ever would have become president. So I went back to Arkansas, I went back to teaching and the legal work I was doing, and I helped the Attorney General of my state, and he was leaving office, and so I ran. Then there was a big race for the United States Senate. I had always wanted to be a senator. In America, if you wind up being president, everybody who ever met you will say, oh, I knew that. He talked to me about that when he was young. It's not true. It's almost never true. But I did want to be a senator. And then I said, I can run in this race and I might win. But that's not what I want to do. I want to stay here and try to prove we can make change. And so I ran for governor and I won. Then I lost for governor. And then I won 10 more years worth of service. And so when I ran for president, even though I was the second youngest person ever elected after John Kennedy, and the third youngest to hold the job after Kennedy and Teddy Roosevelt, who became president after being vice president, I was the longest serving governor in America. So I had an unbelievable amount of experience and how to do things. And I think one of the things I don't like about social media driven politics is too much of it is focused on image and too little on delivery. Because when it's all said and done, you can talk all you want and win all the elections you want, but if you hadn't done anything to change anybody's life for the better, it doesn't amount to anything. So one thing I always tell young people is you should decide early in life to have the courage to live the life you want and realize that all of us keep score. We judge ourselves. If I get in business, I want to build more businesses, create more jobs, make more money. And I think the scorekeeping that matters most is, are people better off when you quit than when you started? All the people whose lives you touch. Do children have a brighter future? And the third thing, very important today, are we coming apart or growing together? I don't like all this ultra-nationalism and only we count and everybody's trying to get us and everything's rigged. I don't like that. I think it's okay to be proud of who you are. You should be proud of being Mexican. I could give you, you should be proud of that. You should cheer for your athletes in the Olympics. Want your football teams to win. All that's good. But your tribalism, as we call it, should be inclusive. That is, you should want it to be part of a world where we win together by playing by the same set of rules, showing each other respect, and making sure the competition is fair. And I think, so that's the way I keep score. So if somebody says, well, I'll give you these. I spent an enormous amount of time trying to help Haiti. I killed myself on it. And to see what's happened to them in the last few years breaks my heart. But in the time I served for the United Nations as Special Envoy to Haiti, can I say people were better off when I stopped than when I started, that more children had a brighter future, and that things were coming together? Yes, I can say that. That's all you can control. You have no control over what happens after you let go of the steering wheel. And there are almost no permanent victories in politics or business or any other endeavor. We're all just passing through. So it's best to focus on what you can do, the lives you can touch, and keep score that way. And if you do, you'll have successes and failures, but you'll be happy because you know I did my best. And that's all you can do.
It's quite amazing. You just mentioned that when elected, you wanted to make a change. A change. During your 8 years of administration, everything changed. When you entered the White House, there were around 50 internet pages, 50. When you left, there were tens of millions. Did you imagine what was going to happen with the world? How everything was going to change forever and ever?
Yes and no. That is, most of the things that have happened, let's just take technology, of which AI is the latest manifestation, but you know, the sequencing of the human genome was basically a scientific and technological breakthrough. Most of these things that happen open broad horizons of possibilities, both good and bad. So if you ask me then and if you ask me now, are you for this move or that move or whatever, I run it through the filter in my mind. Will it leave people better off, give kids a brighter future, and bring us together? If the answer is yes, I'm for that change. If it's not, I'm probably against it. So all of you need a framework like that and realize that these technological marvels have given us the potential, for example, to save the planet from the worst of climate change. Whether we use them for that is totally up to us and others, and it depends on how we keep score in life. That's up to you.
8 years and the internet was open. 8 years and the Human Genome Project was open. And now, the AI, artificial intelligence, is becoming part of our life. Are you concerned? Are you optimistic? Pros and cons?
Yes, I'm concerned, and yes, I'm hopeful. I've seen a lot of good things done by artificial intelligence. And by its predecessors. I'll give you one example. I was in a small university in Appalachia, which is one of our poorest areas in America, in the mountains of eastern Kentucky and West Virginia. And this school had become one of the schools the U.S. government had selected to prove or disprove the potential of nanotechnology for space. And it's a big deal. You know, the space is just full of junk now. There's all these old satellites that aren't being used. And we're worried about problems they can cause at certain points. So this little school, where all the undergraduates in this program were from Appalachia, and there were, interestingly enough, 6 graduate students, all from the area except one from Vietnam and one from Ukraine. And they have built